Hi guys, and welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. This is the final episode of 2021. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go through the entire year through mine and Reece's Instagram posts. So for audio listeners, apologies, but you're not going to be able to see what we're talking about, but we'll describe. For visual listeners on YouTube, I could just say for watchers versus listeners, but for watchers, you'll be able to see. But yeah, it was my idea, by the way, everyone. Reece asked where I got it from. I got it from my own brain. Amazing. But yeah, I just thought it'd be good to sort of go back because a year, like you think it doesn't feel like long ago, but then when I've literally got our Instagram up now, and it's like that's mental. Like this time last year, we were training out of the little private gym. We'll chat about it anyway, but yeah, it's quite cool. So. Yeah, do you want to do a bit of a intro, mate, in regards to how your Christmas was?
Yeah, can do. Firstly, he said the last episode of 2021. We've got a preference. It's going to be 2022 when this is released. So it'll be Monday, won't it? Which will be a few days in. So we're doing this on the Thursday. So hopefully everyone has a good New Year's. It's speaking in past tense by the time this comes out. And hopefully all the fantastic listeners and watchers, should we say, of the podcast have had a good Christmas. I was away for a week. I was in Norfolk for, I say a week, it was 6 days from Wednesday, which was my birthday. So my birthday was on the 22nd of December. Came back on Tuesday. Nice, pretty much 6-day little break. Nothing really changed in the sense of like my usual routine. Like I gave myself a little bit more downtime. I intentionally was a bit more just efficient in general. So I didn't have to be like stuck in front of a laptop all day, which was nice. When I went for some long walks, which at 108 to 110 kilos isn't nice. My heels are fucked. My feet are fucked.
So it's too big to walk.
My feet are fucked. They are literally battered. Walking around on a beach, like my knees, I'm surprised I didn't tear something up because I'm just too heavy to be walking around when I'm not used to it, especially. Too big. Just too big. You wouldn't know. You're like 214 pounds. I'm 240.
Walk all day.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine walking with 25 pounds strapped to you. Like, it's not nice.
I'll do weighted steps. I'll do whatever it takes.
Do whatever it takes. Weighted steps in an off season, just so you can eat more food. Wouldn't surprise me, to be fair. But no, so yeah, it was a lovely week away, or 6 days away. Sanaya came with us. It was literally me, my mum, and Sanaya, and yeah, that was pretty much that. What about you, mate? You were all over the place, wasn't you? Visiting family.
Did Russell not go with you?
Yeah, he did, but Russell's my mum's partner. I don't think Russell listens, so it's not where I can say, hi, Russell, hope you're doing good. But he was there, but he's got family, so he went back on like the 24th. And usually whenever we go away a few days before, but we couldn't get the cottage until my birthday. So he was only there for literally 2 days, and he was going on that second day.
Right.
So it was just a few days away from him, which is a bit of a ball ache.
So he ruined it.
Yeah, he just decided to go on. Yeah, ruined Christmas. Cheers, Russ. Just ruined Christmas. But yeah, nothing really else to report. I had 6 days worth off when it comes to training. I trained in a leisure centre gym while I was there, and it was fucking awful. It was a decent session, but the people there was a woman who complained about Russell actually using the 8.5 kilo dumbbells or something like that. And she was like, God, this is such a male-orientated gym. There's not enough dumbbells for us females. And speaking to my mum, and my mum was like, just grab the 10s or go and grab the 5 kilo plate. Like, you're fine. And she was like, there's no hip adductor. There's no hip abductor. It's all male. And I was like,
train somewhere else then.
Yeah, and I was so confused because I almost wanted to say the dumbbells only go up to 40s. Like, I'd need heavier. Like, maybe they're not heavy enough. So yeah, it was a bit of a weird one because that was the first time training in a leisure centre since the last time I was probably away in Norfolk. So,
weird, isn't it? You forget how different it is, and yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. So it was like me putting on like 140 on a barbell press, and she was like coming up, like looking for like plates behind the like where I set up, and I was like, God, this woman, like I'm gonna lose it here. Just leave me alone. But yeah, other than that, it was all good. So I did an upper session on Thursday, which was like a combination of my Friday and Saturday session. Didn't do a hip hinge, obviously, because there's no chance I'll be able to recover after. I was still battered after the 260 stiff leg, which, to be fair, I could actually report. I pulled 6 plates for the first time. The last time I hip hinged and you pulled 5 plates, that was a good session. And yeah, I had 6 days off, was back into the gym yesterday for delts and arms. And everything seems to be in a good spot. I was really looking forward to train, which is nice because it was the longest amount of time off I've had this year, and it was only the second deload that I had in the last like 9 months, which is again pretty absurd, but it's kind of the what's expected after a prep and during a prep, because I didn't take really any time off afterwards, which again I'm quite happy with that decision anyway. But yeah, it was a nice bit of downtime, well needed. Been a long year for everybody, including myself. So yeah, it was very nice. Anyway, do you want to give a little update? I said already that you kind of were all over the place come Christmas and stuff, but did you have a nice time? Did you have a nice week away? Or I say week away.
I didn't really. Yeah, I wasn't really everywhere, mate. I deloaded from Christmas was the 20. Well, Christmas 25th was a Saturday, wasn't it? So yeah. I deloaded from the Wednesday, so that would have been the 22nd. So my last session was Tuesday. I had Tuesday to Sunday off, so I had 5 days off. Well, Wednesday to Sunday off, so I had 5 days off, which definitely felt needed. If it wasn't Christmas, I probably would have taken it a week or two before, to be honest.
I would have
or I'd have maybe done like a D-volume even a month ago. So it was sort of like kind of waiting because I knew I wanted to have a few days off over Christmas. So yeah, it was good. Christmas Eve, me and Shannon had a bit of time together, but not a lot because I still had quite a bit of work to do and we were like last minute with presents and stuff. So we didn't get much time together, but we had our Christmas dinner, just me and her on Christmas Eve, which we always do. And then Christmas Day, we had a bit of time together in the morning and then we went to her parents for food, which was actually really nice. Like it was a really nice meal. We've not had Christmas dinner at theirs before, and it was actually really nice. And then we just chilled out.
Better than your family.
Huh?
Better than your family's Christmas dinner.
Yeah. My family's vegan Christmas dinner. Anyway, yeah. So after we ate at Shannon's, they've got like a big sofa and it reclines. So there was literally me, Shannon, Shannon's nephew and Shannon's sister, and we were all just like laid there after food, just like sort of chilling out watching a film. It was actually really nice. And then we drove over to my sister's, which is like Chesterfield. So Shannon's parents live where I live, so that was 5 minutes, so that was nice. Drove there, had the rest of the day there, stayed over there, had all Boxing Day with my family, and then came home. So it was really busy, like it always is. It seems to be like you don't get any time to actually chill when it's kind of what I needed. So it's a bit like, that's why for New Year's, me and Shannon are just having it together so we can actually spend some time together and chill out a little bit. Because I feel like I'm either working and like Shannon's there, but I'm working and I feel like it's a bit shit, or we're both somewhere else where we don't really get to spend any proper time together because it's like we've got the whole family and little ones. Like obviously Shannon's family's got a 4-year-old and my family's got like a 18-month-year-old, so it's like it's just a bit hectic. So it'll be nice to have a bit of time just us two. But yeah, it was nice. Back into training from Monday. Sessions have been going well. Yesterday I felt a bit battered, but I think it's normal, isn't it? When you come back off a deload, you almost feel. I felt like really fresh going into it, and then it hits you straight away that you're back into training. So I felt a little bit trashed, but I'm sound. Got obviously deadlifts on Saturday, so we'll see how they go because my back's been playing up a little bit like what I've had previously, but it's okay. So yeah, it's been all right.
Well, good. So can we confirm the last set that you did before your deload was your dumbbell RDO? And what happened there?
Oh, the dumbbell RDO, I got 74s for 10.
And what happened during the set that you said afterwards when you sat down?
Oh, I shat myself.
Yeah. Finn looks at me. I've thought about this about 5 times. I laugh every time. Finn looks at me and goes, I think I just shat myself. You sit down and then you wait and you look up and you go, yep, shat myself.
It wasn't like that bad though. It's just like, just how it's normal though, isn't it? Like, it's not normal for people who, I don't want to be like, oh, it's normal because I train hard. I don't mean it like that, but it's not fully, I've not done a full shit in my pants. It's not like a massive turd. It's just like, I've probably shit a little bit.
I got you got 74s, didn't you? What was it? 74s. I got the 80s for 15. I didn't shit myself. So clearly there's more in there for me.
Yeah, but do you know why?
Why?
Because you're on steroids.
Oh yeah, I'm not natty. Fuck, mate! Don't say that too early. Don't say that too early into the podcast. Family members could still be.
What's your mate said?
What's that?
That's what your mate said.
Who's my mate? Oh, which one's this?
What's his name? The lad that was, the lad that came up to the posing room afterwards.
Oh yeah, Josh.
Because he was like, you know what that is? Steroids. I was like, I know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheers, Josh. He said I had a pro level physique like 6 weeks out. He lied to me, so I didn't.
So did fucking everyone.
Yeah, Josh, I thought I was going to be a pro. Cheers, mate. No. All right. So that's that. That's our little wrap up of the last week. Now we're going to get into a wrap up of the year. So if Finn can do this, we're going to get up. Are we just going to go through month to month?
We'll just keep going across. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we can see here, this is January. So that's the first month of 2020, believe it or not. We had we had literally 2 sessions in a private training facility. I don't think he'll mind. I won't say his name because I've seen him do YouTube videos now.
I think I got rid of all the posts.
Yeah, I remember he asked me to delete them.
He told us to archive them or archive.
Yeah, archive. He has to archive. So
Mate, I say that. I've always called it that, and I hate that I do it. It's a bad habit. Yeah. I say archive because that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, it's like like debris. I say debris. Like I'm like debris. Like yeah, because it looks how it's spelled. Like it said how it's spelled. And but anyway, like I said, so we went into like a lockdown. We fortunately had in the start of Jan. We trained through the last lockdown. So that was the November, November lockdown.
Remember, mate.
Yeah, there was a lockdown like a month prior to Christmas, and I remember
there was the big one from March.
Yeah, where we were training at mine,
and then there was another big one thing.
Yeah, no, there was a small one. There was like a 4-week one. It was the month prior to Christmas before they opened everything up.
But then it was again from January, and that was quite a long one.
Yeah, so we started training during the second lockdown, throughout pretty much a private training facility, which had a decent amount of kit. Like it was a real good kind of gym setup. I don't think we've got any. Maybe if you scroll back another month,
I don't think,
be able to see some.
I'm trying to think about where. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, just so we can have a look. So yeah, you can start to see here. Pretty much, we had leg press, hack squat, kind of. That was a few days after you showed.
That was a few days after I competed. But this is 2020, so
first session. Yeah, first session. And so yeah, we were training out of like a private training facility. We had a decent setup, and then pretty much what happened is the police were called upon, not us, but the people training there. And literally, I remember we were sat in the car. We had our pre-workout meals. I think we had our pre-workout. We were literally about to train
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the police were literally like, we couldn't train. So we've got ourselves ready to train, and we were like, fuck, what do we do? So we ended up having to go back to mine, and that literally was the training for 4 to 5 months. So I remember we instantly went on to eBay, Facebook Marketplace, like all the kind of crappy websites that people sell their stuff from, and we just bought a load of overpriced stuff. Like we got scammed pretty much. So we bought ourselves.
Do you remember we bought the rack on Facebook Marketplace for like 120 quid or something. And we were like, oh, this is mint. Like, and then it was 100 quid on the actual website. And it was, I'm sure it was still, or was it out of stock? Yeah, I'm sure it was in stock.
Yeah, I think it was out of stock, but we paid for the availability. So we bought a rack, we bought a new adjustable bench, we bought a cable, like a pretty shitty, but it did its job, like cable stack, like a dual cable pulley system, and pretty much we went from there. So as you'll be able to see, Finn's got my Instagram up. The video to the top right, that's in that private training facility, and then literally the ones from that is probably when the police were called upon us. So it was literally where January we went into lockdown. We were pretty much just doing a lot of barbell pressing. We kind of got ourselves, we were still training at 4 times per frequency. I think the one benefit of going through multiple lockdowns before was the fact that we knew that we couldn't probably train at what we'd done before in the gym, and we could instantly kind of auto-regulate volume and pull volume down. So we started off same frequency per week, 4 times per week. Our sessions were ridiculously demanding. I remember our Saturday session, legitimately, we weren't training for this long, and it definitely wasn't as optimal as it could have been, but just due to kind of getting setups right and moving exercises around, mate, that Saturday session was like 4.5 hours minimum, wasn't it?
All the
like,
sessions, I think when you do train 4 times a week or less than that, like the sessions have to be ridiculously demanding because you've got the time to recover from it. Like our sessions were long, but they were also like, especially when it was with that equipment, because we didn't have the availability of nice equipment that was going to be comfortable and smooth. Like everything just battered us, didn't it?
Yeah, so I'm not too sure. You wouldn't really be able to see, but that bottom left video, the one on the hack, not that one, go up. The one at mine, that was probably one of the worst sets I think I've ever done. This was when my patellar tendonitis was really, really bad. So I was doing a pause, like just a parallel reverse band hack. And I remember it was like a 4.5-minute set. It was something stupid. I see there 2.5 plates for 20, and it was continuous with like a ridiculously slow and controlled eccentric. And I know people will be looking at this thinking, God, the depth is poor. The depth is intentionally pretty poor. It was literally where my patellar tendonitis was so bad I couldn't really squat below parallel for like literally until I saw Aaron. That's the one thing that I would say. Like my lower training was awful up until
Oh
this
my
point.
God. Has that guy got a coat on?
Oh wow. Was that around this time?
I've got it unlocked. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
wow.
that guy's wearing a coat in the gym.
guys, is that guy wearing a coat? I'm stunned. But yeah, so January literally was a sense of we kind of come out of Christmas, we'd gone into training. We also should mention we went to Ultraflex Rotherham because that was the only gym that was open. And do you remember how busy it was?
That was that session.
Yeah. Like I would almost
look at it. But it was the only gym not in tier 4. That's what it was, because it was one of the only gyms, because that Sheffield Rotherham area wasn't in it yet. So everyone was training there, which was pretty stupid.
Ridiculous. Really. It was absolutely stupid. Have a look on your post, mate, if you want. See what you had.
I want to watch this.
Let's have a look. This was after pushing my RDL up for a decent amount of time. Definitely agree. Hip flexion's probably not ideal. It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it could be better, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. It was almost one where like I started this RDL push-up from like September after I came back from holiday, and I was like 215 kilos. So I'd added like 36 kilos onto this in
that hoodie
while.
That hoodie doesn't fit me because I'm so big now.
Really? So a year later, mate.
Look how small I am, though. And I'm not saying I've grown loads, by the way. I'm just a lot fatter.
No, but this was 3 months after prep for you, like 2
months.
Yeah,
I know. After. That's what I'm saying. Like, look how small I am. It's mental.
Yeah, it is pretty mental. Like I said to you the other week, it was pretty bonkers to remember that, like, when we were going into lockdown, that was only 2 or 3 months after, like, your prep. Like, if we were to go into a lockdown now, that's even though, depth. Like, yeah, there we go. Even though, like, if I was to go into a lockdown now, I'd still be like, God, even though my training's in a really good spot, I'm not fat enough at the moment to really be, let's say, as stable as needed and as optimal as needed. And I'd almost be like, right, I need to push up another 5 kilos so I can be like as stable as probably needed, and my training would be in a good spot. Like I still, only in the last like probably 4 to 6 weeks, I felt normal again. Like it was where it's taken a decent amount of time. And even then I'd be like, I'm probably still not 100%.
It takes ages, mate. Like even
definitely.
Even now, maybe not now, but probably a good few months back, like I was still starting to notice, like, I'm actually feeling better now on this, and this actually feels better. Like, it does take a long, long time when you've buried yourself, and if you've stayed in stage condition for quite a while as well, like, you know, it can fuck you up a bit. Like, you're not going to just come out of it like that. It takes time, you know. Yeah. And like you say, especially if you're doing, you know, movements like these with all the fucking cement and bricks on the top. To be fair, like we've said this numerous times, but I'd happily go back to this. Like we were in our element really in those sessions, weren't we?
Yeah.
The only thing for me that was a bit of a ball ache was the travelling, because it's like 40 odd minutes to yours, like, which isn't a problem obviously because I drive now. But when you drive in 40 odd minutes to go into a little shed, it's like if you're driving that amount of time to a mint gym or to Ultraflex for an hour, you're like, yeah, it's worth it.
Sorry,
you maybe do it once or twice a week, but I was driving.
Did we just see my glutes there? Look at them glutes.
Yeah, mate, amazing.
Fucking hell, mate. I'd fuck me. Much.
We say that all the time, don't we? Whenever we see our own glutes.
My arse on that clip.
My arse is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
such a nice arse.
It's ridiculous that, honestly. I'm my
go
test
on.
Right.
Oh, what a set. He trains hard. He trains so hard.
Yeah,
right,
it is funny.
We've got to get through each month.
Right.
So.
No, but we can almost use this. Right, let's go to Feb. So January...
I'm just looking through. So this, I don't know when Feb is. To be fair, I've absolutely done Mark Hector there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Maybe
the
not
angle,
the body.
Yeah, the tan, everything.
Mark's actually stood 10 feet further forward than me there.
Yeah.
When's that? January 29th. Okay, so not much happened. I was, 3 months, 12 weeks post-show at this point. 17 pounds up, so 183 pounds. Back when I used to take check-in photos in here. Now I just do them after each session, don't I?
Yeah.
Well,
good.
What's this? End of Jan.
Then we have...
This is where you were at. Classic baby.
So,
lol. Give me 8 years. Lol. Look at your cock as well, mate. Your cock's looking massive in that.
Fucking hell, yeah, it is, to be fair, mate. Look,
You're not getting any shorts on. Where have your
yeah.
shorts gone?
Yeah, I'm surprised, to be fair.
Is this
So what's
the...
that? 100,
No.
104.8 kilos. Fair enough. Like,
What are you
100, that's
now?
mental. 100, I was 109.5 this morning. So, like,
I think like 107 yesterday.
No, I was 108.6. I was 110 before I left. So I'm back up to I've been floating between like the 108 to 110 marker now for a decent while. But yeah, that's pretty cool to see. 104.8. I mean, almost a year on. I'm probably a fair bit bigger than that. That's for sure. Now, I'd like to imagine. And yeah. So and then we have the 104.4 again macros. It's funny because my food's actually higher now than it is there on training days by quite a significant margin. Protein's like 20 up. Fats are the same. In fact, actually, you know what? I'm on 1 gram extra of fat now. So yeah, 1 gram extra of fat.
No wonder you're a fat mess.
Yeah, exactly. Carbs are 100 grams up. So my food's higher already, which is pretty mental.
Your lower body looks good.
Yeah, it is funny. Like, I feel like my lower body just hasn't really grown at all in the last year, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
which again,
you have had issues with training it, and obviously you've had a prep in between as well. So
yeah, definitely. It's funny because my upper body's like night or day different, but like I'd still say my lower body was my best body part like 2 years ago, and it's still decent, but it's not like, it hasn't really got much of an improvement, and that's literally just through prioritization. I've only had lower frequency at 1 time per week, and I literally had it throughout. So there was no lower training for like 8 weeks of prep, or no, 6 weeks of prep while I was actually competing. And then there was literally an 8-week period where I couldn't due to a knee injury. So out of this year, like probably 16 to 20 weeks worth have probably been quite suboptimal in the sense of lower training. Here we go. That's definitely not February, mate. That's I'm guessing, a few weeks out from that point?
That's 4 weeks out. I was talking about that being my best look and how you don't want to spend too long in a contest prep. Because I prepped for another 4 weeks after that for the first show, and then another 4 weeks after that for the second show, which then ended up getting cancelled anyway. But no, I was actually really happy with that look. When I looked back, I was like, fucking hell. Like, that was like pretty full, pretty crisp. Like, that was the best I'd looked by a mile. And then I just faded from then, I think just due to diet fatigue, basically. I don't think I really needed to get leaner from then. Like, I think I could have done, but I don't think it would have benefited me. I needed more muscle, really, to get leaner and benefit from it. Like, there's no point me trying to get loads leaner for striations in my glutes, because my glutes aren't really that great to be, like, showing off striations in my glutes. Yeah, so it's a learning curve. But, yeah, that was the best look of prep. Yeah. But that was actually how I was looking at the time.
So what was it, 186 pounds?
20 pounds up, yeah.
No, that's a decent look. I remember you taking those photos, and I remember looking at you going, God, you were in good state of affairs there. Like, I don't think those photos really show, just because the lighting in there. Yeah, the lighting in there wasn't great. The camera's clearly not good.
But that's obviously showing. So obviously February time, end of February, we were still training at yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was when was it then that the gyms got reopened?
April 12th, mate. I remember that. So. If you go, that would be the first time 5.5 plates for 9.
I think I'm sure I did. It was that we did a post here. Look to say, because that was the first one versus that one. Lockdown 1 versus lockdown 3.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Look at you on that.
Skinny as anything, mate. Skinny as anything. I was probably like 85 kilos there. God, awful. Awful. Have we got any? Was there any training footage there? I felt like on mine, I think I put like some training clips, like some training highlights of
of when we were still in lockdown.
Yeah, like I put like a summary of the.
I think you put like your best bits, didn't you?
Yeah, let's have a look at that. So, and then have a look to the left. So for a final session. Yeah, God, look at all those plates, mate. 172.5 kg flat bench, 160 kg low incline, 147.5 kg high incline, 251 RDL, 550 kg plus 300 pounds of bands on a leg press, and then 160 chest supported row.
That was a good row, that, yeah.
Yeah, pretty strong, to be fair. Like, I look back and think it was pretty, like, those numbers are all right. Depth is pretty shit on that high incline, but any high incline path I've never been that good at. But yeah. No, to be fair, all seemed to be good. All seemed to be good. That was like you said earlier. If we were to go back into this, like, mate, we'd just crack on. Like, it literally is how it would be.
Yeah, we'd just look back at this, really, wouldn't we? Probably look back at previous data from what the what we were doing. But your mum's got some better equipment now, hasn't she?
Yeah, so I think we'd be in a better spot. What was it? 111 kgs. That was pretty much peak. I mean, I had a further 2 weeks after that point so I had like 3 weeks of being in the gym prior to prep starting. So I literally climbed another kilo up from that point, which was all good. That was the first session, obviously, that we got videoed, and overall, I think that was just a good training footage highlight kind of reel. But yeah, the first couple of weeks, I think we could both say, like, getting back into the gym, it was that first week you were almost like, yeah, mint, let's get back in the gym.
Lifetime body weight 106.
Yeah, so I pushed
Still put on another 6. You put on weight pretty quick towards the end, didn't you?
Yeah, it was where like I literally was just pushing food to push food, and I'd also we should have mentioned during like the start of Feb we both had COVID, so I went from 100. I was 106 kilos. I was 105 and a bit, like the back end of Jan, and then I lost 4 kilos from COVID. Then I pushed back up, and it was where like body weight kind of. I remember I got back into the gym at around like 109 to 110, and then I had like 3 to 4 more weeks left of still pushing body weight up, and I got that. Oh, the banded leg extension.
Fucking horrible, that leg extension.
Absolutely brutal, and we got body weight up to around like 100. I think 112.6 was the highest I've ever seen on a scale in the morning, which was quite a good one. But that was literally prior to going into prep. So, and to be fair, I should say as well, like for me externally from the gym, this was literally where like from end of Feb till like April when I started prep, I was in the midst of doing my dissertation and finishing uni. So it literally was where I finished uni, I got everything submitted, and I remember I had like 2 days of like being like, oh, this is nice, and then I was like, right, prep start. So it was where I was like getting up earlier, getting my
coaching was getting really busy for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. This was like, I remember like we've said this on podcasts before, but like come the start of the year, we were like, oh God, another lockdown. Like we've just got to get through it. Got to be like, we've got to kind of just motivate our clients to the best of our ability. But then like we had really good, like that first 3 months of the year was fantastic when it came to business. For both
I do think it helped clients. The fact that we were both training like we were.
Yeah.
In the place that we were, posting about it a lot. And like the amount of times that I'd get people messages like, mate, it looks so cool in there.
Yeah.
Like, I have people like, can you do a gym tour? I was like, one video is the whole tour. This is literally a room. It's tiny. Like people I don't even realize how small this was. Like, it was literally, that's the hack there. This is the leg extension. There was pretty much nothing this side of Reece other than putting something for his phone. And that's where the hack is and the leg press is. So behind me is the bench. And then we actually crept some cables in there, didn't we? But it was very tight. Yeah, we had cables. Like if you look at your back shot there, mate, go down one. Oh yeah, I was actually quite happy with those photos at the time. Yeah, they look decent. Like you can see that, guys. You can see the cable on the left. The left on the hand side is where the cable's at. So that was by the door. The bench is where we had the bench and the rack and stuff. And literally to Finn's right, if he was to extend his right hand, he's touching the hack. Like there was no room at all. So it was where like when in the first lockdown, when we first ever stepped in there, you couldn't move, you couldn't see anything. We had to clear it all out, or you had to clear it all out, didn't you? And then even then it was still tight. We literally had a bench in there. That was it. You could only barbell press in one spot. Because that's where the barbell wouldn't hit anything. Like that's literally how small the room was. So yeah, it was a pretty mental thing. And like I said, it's quite cool to think that obviously I know there's been a few talks about, like, I haven't followed it at all, but I know there was a few talks about announcements being made. And I think by the looks of things, we're not going into another lockdown, but it is pretty mental to think that this is like what we started at. Like, just look at my fucking haircut there. Like, I was thinking that about my hair. My hair looks shit as well. Yeah, like my face looks fat. My trim is awful. Like, you know? Yeah, but we couldn't go to hairdressers and stuff, could we? Yeah, no, exactly. And literally, it was where, like, the funny thing is, we wouldn't even, like, me and Finn wouldn't even talk to each other the morning of each session. Like, it would be where I would know what time Finn would get here. I'd know what time to have my pre-workout meal. I'd know what time to have my pre. And, like, literally come the time I'm putting on my shoes, Finn would literally text me saying, I'm here, let's train. And we just crack on and get after it. So, yeah. Nice shrug there, mate. Like, no wonder your upper back looks good now. Like, honestly, I'm on form police all the time. Exactly, I know. And then we have the dumbbell. To be fair, my hair looks quite good there. That was when I went through that phase of, like, putting it down and across, because I was like, emo. I had an emo phase in lockdown 3. Yeah. I was just getting so emotional about the gyms not being open.
yeah. So to summarize, the first 4 months of the year, I think for both of us, training really good, all things considered. Obviously, it was the few months prior to a prep for me. So it was where, like I said, I was doing my dissertation. I was flat out, but it was still a very productive state. And like the benefits are, like, I'm looking back at this and I feel quite warm inside. Like it's quite a nice thing looking back at this.
Cool
like
to
I'm
look
like,
back,
it's cool to do. Yeah. So this has been £191.
191. So that's £25 up. Yeah, £25 up. So I was 166 at my lightest. So 191 would be £25 up. And that's April. Prep finished early November because I continued.
Have you been pinning your hamstring there? Is that a spot?
I got like a really bad spot on my hamstring. I remember. Yeah. I don't pin my hamstring.
You're trying to bring up your hamstring.
I pin my biceps.
That's what it was.
Get that for range of motion. No wonder we were getting shit.
Yeah, exactly. People just seeing this, a good fucking hell, range of motion. It's funny though, because like we were getting stronger. And like this is obviously you could argue our execution on some of these movements probably wasn't the best. Like it's definitely not as good as it is now, but the stability required on a bench like this was challenging. Like, you know,
I would argue, like, obviously, yes, execution could have been a lot better, but we both made a lot of progress in that lockdown.
Mate, it was 100%. Probably the best 4 months of training I've, like, from a progression state that I think we both have ever had.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
You know, because maybe we were just eating, training, like we were training with basic movements 4 times per week. We were resting a lot. Like we weren't really that active because we were in a lockdown. So literally we were not doing anything else. And it was like, we'd literally come into the gym, train for 4 hours, go home, or we'd eat afterwards. We'd have a massive bowl of cereal. Food was high and everything was in a good spot. Oh yeah, we have the banded lat pull down.
Mate, really you look like a different person.
What do you mean? Like my face? Like you think I look older now?
And yeah, it's mental.
Yeah, I do look young, don't I?
It's all that gear, mate.
Yeah, 6 months, 8 months on, and I just look like I've aged about 4 years.
You have aged a lot. I thought I'd aged quite a lot, but you look like an 18-year-old thug.
I'd argue though, mate. Like, firstly, my hair's very, very short, and secondly, I am younger than you. Like, I would have aged like. I did have quite a young face, like, and I am 2 years younger than you, so it might be a factor as well. That's what I'd hope it fucking is. If not, I'm gonna look 30 next year, bro. This time next year, I'll be like, oh guys, I look so young, and now I'm fucking 45.
What was this? Is this your hip thrust?
Yeah, this was when my hips came off the bench, and therefore to get more chest activation.
We did actually, guys. Everybody, if people are still watching or listening, sorry for the audio listeners. But we actually carried on with some of the same movements going into the gym because we thought, why not? They're going well. So like we carried on doing flat bench. We carried on with bent over row. We carried on with like single arm dumbbell row. Quite a lot of movements we kept in, didn't we? And then we realised there's quite a lot of good alternatives that we could use that wouldn't batter us as much. So soon after, obviously you were going into prep anyway. I was starting to struggle to progress them as much. So we ended up going into obviously utilising the equipment available.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you look here, I've even said on the thing, we'll still aim to take 4 plates for a set of 4 to 7. That never happened. I lied.
Did you get 2?
Yeah, I got 2. But it was where, like I said here, like I've rinsed what I can. Like it was literally where I can't imagine, like we had these barbell pressing movements in, and like we both kind of made a pact to not switch exercises out until we needed to, because they were still progressing at an okay rate. And like it was where we had a barbell press in still for a decent amount of time, and then when we discovered, right, we need to switch them out, we did. But we didn't want to, like we both said, we didn't want to just get back in the gym and did what we did the first time and be like literally a completely different training meso just based off the different equipment. Because like for example, Warehouse doesn't have the best chest presses, but like we were literally thinking, right, well we had a high incline press, so we might as well utilize the Smith machine afterwards. But that was still like our sessions were very similar in nature, and then they slowly transitioned into the exercises and sessions that you'd most likely see now. Like, but it wasn't where we went back in the gym and we were both progressing on let's say like a flat bench or a low incline, and we were like, right, let's just do a machine press, like a dip. I was doing a dip prior to this lockdown. If we look here, I was doing cable fly. Like this session probably stayed exactly the same. Like I wouldn't say there'd be much.
Yeah, it's a chest compound, it's a lateral raise, a chest compound, a shoulder compound, a tricep compound, a fly, and then probably a bit of arms and maybe another lateral. And it'll probably be like that for a long, long time. Like because it works and it works well.
Yeah, go on that one on the bottom left, mate. That was the first photo prior to prep. So I think
Prep
that was
begins.
Prep begins 110.2 kg upon weight this morning. It's funny because that was on Sunday, and I remember this. The day before was 112.6, but I had an off-plan meal that night. I had a pizza, and just due to the food volume, I was lower. So I was like,
That's pretty
I started
cool.
prep. Yeah.
8 years in the making. Here we go. That's quite cool. That was before, obviously, everything that's happened.
Yeah. So no, click on go through the photos, mate. You'll see. Do you not remember this? This is
Oh right, yeah.
I put up like a little highlight reel of like some of the best photos that I've had. So these were like when I've been lean before. I think I was like 18. Now I was like 17 there. I was fucking fat at 16 there. I was then 15 there, and I think this one I was 14. Jesus Christ! Look at me. Look at me.
But look, you've still got delts there. Like, it's weird, isn't it?
That was the first ever gym photo. Like, not that one. That's one of the first photos I took in the gym. But that one, the one in the tank in the mirror, that was one of the first like photos I ever took. That was in the summer of going into year 10. So it was where I started going to the gym like a few months before year 9 ended. And I remember like I had a tank top and I was like, I'm fucking huge. Like,
quite big in that.
I was like 105 kilos at that point.
Yeah.
I was heavy. I was really, really heavy. I was like 83, 84 there, 85, like
that's
86.
like a massive change between that one and that one. But that was a very good shot for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh mate, I didn't look like that at all. Like
no,
that was perfect angle.
That was just a really good photo. Because you look like that's like how you look now. Like,
yeah,
and that was ages ago.
Yeah, that was like literally. I remember like I had 2 bagels.
You looked a lot better there versus there, but I think it was just a good photo for you, wasn't it?
I had 2 bagels after dieting for 6 weeks, stupidly aggressively, and I remember I got a pump and I got in the changing room, took my top off, and I was like, I look pretty decent. So I was quite happy about things looking. What we got here, this is Evo. So
195 pounds.
Mate, even your face there, like your face on that front shot looks still like you don't look that fat there. Like,
it does make me think, like, when I look back at some of these and I think, you know, if I was to do a mini cut now, let's say, like, I'd probably only need to pull off like 10, 15 pounds and I'd be like, I'm looking decent. Like, look at my detail through my chest and my delts, my arms at 195. Like, it's not bad.
No, definitely. Yeah. With 4.75 on the hammer strength flat press.
Yeah, that started battering my shoulders, didn't it? So I ended up switching that out.
Yeah.
True squat. I got the true squat. I got way better than that, and I got it with a lot more control and everything. Didn't I? That looks a bit shit. Depth won't be great on that. Flat bench 125 for 8. Let's have a look at this.
So I think, what's this? Flying, mate.
It's not bad, yeah. It'd be interesting to see what we could get if we had a run on them now, wouldn't it?
When I did that medium incline the other day, mate, it felt so unstable.
Yeah, I
got 140 for 6. And I like got off and I like said to my mum, because she spotted me, and I was like, God, that's appalling. And she was like, no, it was good. I was like, no, I've done like
compared to but it's just because it's just practice, isn't it? It's not that you have lost strength. It's because you prepped, mate. You've lost loads of muscle.
Yeah. I'd quite like to have like a barbell press back in, or like, you know,
we have spoke about it before, haven't we? Yeah. But I do feel like I think I struggle in terms of getting niggles on incline, like a high incline especially. I could get away with like doing a flat, maybe a really low incline, but I just find, even you can see on the dumbbells, like look at my elbow path. Like
it's just
you
not
can't
stable.
create my grip and my hands are like semi-pronated. You can't really create that exactly. Well, you can't on a barbell.
Was this the session where Carlton gave you the worst assist ever on that first rep?
So we ended up getting Lewis to help, didn't we? No, we got Lewis to do it.
We went up to Carlton. Basically, the rule is if you're getting dumbbells thrown up to you, just go up to the biggest guy in the gym and say, hey, mate, can you help us throw up some dumbbells? So we went up to Carlton. And sorry, Carlton, if you're watching this, mate, but legitimately in my like 9 years of being in the gym, that was the worst assist I've ever seen for a first rep. Finn, I got the one up perfectly. He lifted it up for Finn, missed his hand, put it the wrong way. Finn had to twist it on his own.
So I was like this, and I was like, no.
You're like, mate, I'm not doing an underhand press. He then like twisted it, still was holding on. Meanwhile, you're holding one on its own. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like I said to you, I would have just sacked it and just gone, I'm going again in a minute. Like there's no chance. I'm surprised we even got a set completed. But no, and true squat. This was pretty much, I wasn't training legs during this like initial period, getting back into the gym. I remember that, I remember I was literally coming over to spot you, and I was like, I really wish I could do this, but I couldn't.
It is a good movement.
Yeah,
Trying to see if I got my body weight on that. I don't think I have.
No, I'm gonna probably get like 195 maybe.
I think it was 195 on the other one.
Yeah. Oh, maybe a bit heavier then.
Yeah, probably approaching like 200 at that.
It's good, mate. That's a good look for 200 pounds. Like, it's a very good look. Like,
maybe I was around still 195. To be fair, it's not long after that other one, was it? Mm-hmm. Right. So we're in about May. What's this one? Oh, May.
This is training highlights. First week's rotation with lower food, session performance higher than ever, which was, I remember that. We've got the incline press, the upper chest.
The lip biter.
The what? What's
the
this?
lip biter. The guy who's like...
Oh, yeah, God. The most amount of weight ever seen on a shoulder press results in like this dude just staring, looking at me sexually prior to this every single time.
Biting his lip like...
Biting his lip. Just go, yeah. Fucking stupid. But yeah, basically first week of prep was a breeze. Don't know what people were talking about saying prep was hard. It was fucking easy. Food coming down, so when you're not forcing in, like my final meal pre-bed, which again wasn't optimal, but like the last week of a gaining phase was like 2 wraps, a pack of rice, so like probably 80 carb from rice, 2 wraps, which would have totaled like 60 carb. We're then talking like 40 grams of protein from chicken alone. And then it was like a cookie and a grenade bar. And I'm not joking, it was just because I'm not really a massive fan of trying to get in fats throughout the day because my digestion wasn't ideal on like 5,300 calories. So when I pulled food down initially, it was an absolute blessing. And like we've said it before, the first couple of weeks is lovely because you're not hungry at all. Food volume's lower. You drop a few pounds of like water and you just feel in general just pretty decent. And like energy levels are really high. Training performance is good. And it was an enjoyable time, that's for sure. We've got here May 20th. Yeah, this was me losing a load of tightness out the bottom.
Bouncing out of every single rep off the bottom.
Mate, no, it wasn't bouncing out, just losing tightness. Like this was the first time I'd done any lower body movement in like a decent while. So if we look here, 8 weeks hiatus due to patellar-tendinitis, and I remember like I said to you for like 6 weeks.
Did you have patellar-tendinitis, mate?
Yeah, I did. Believe it or not. Yeah, I said to you for ages, like every movement felt so foreign, like any leg press, any squat variant, it was like I couldn't brace. And like we pride ourselves on like being able to brace. We always say like just treat like getting hit by a bus, like just brace. It's simple. And when you can't brace and you're losing tightness at the bottom of every single rep, I was just like, what the hell is up with me? Like I felt like I didn't feel like me. It felt completely different. I felt like it was the first couple of weeks of training again, and I was like having to relearn how to like walk or something. It was stupid. So yeah, lower training was a go. I was still only on 1 time per week frequency. And I should say previously, like the whole off season, I was running 2 times per week lower frequency, 2 times per week upper frequency. So I didn't really train, like the gaining phase prior wasn't really like a men's physique kind of orientated split. It was still very like systemic kind of growth orientated. I just needed more muscle everywhere. So we both were just doing 2 uppers, 2 lowers. We've got a few more training footage here. This was like a month into prep, like 3 to 4 weeks in. And I do remember, if we read here, like fluid retention, potential stability. I remember my pressing took like, not a massive hit, but I definitely just felt more unstable. Like I initially dropped like 4 to 5 kilos in the first couple of weeks. I went from like 112 kilos to 107. And I instantly noticed that like my upper back just felt a little bit less tight. I didn't feel as locked in on a lot of pressing movements. And I think that's normal just from literally body weight coming down. It's going to be expected. Leverages change in general. Like when you shift a decent amount of body weight, that's going to occur. And then we have here prep date. Starting body weight, 112.6. So I was 9 kilos down at this point, 8 kilos down, 8 to 9 kilos down. It's funny because I'm like 7 kilos up and I'm far, far leaner now than where this is at. So again, not a bad thing. Probably worth me aging about 5 years.
That just shows though, doesn't it? Like you don't look that dissimilar from 112 there. Like always the case. First, however many kilos come off and you actually just look the same. If anything, you look worse because you're just flatter. And
I remember we both were saying that.
Always shit.
Both were saying that.
Yeah.
I remember you looking at me going like, you just look flat. Like you don't look full.
It's just a bit of
103 kilos here.
Prep, isn't it?
Yeah. So if we look here, 17 weeks out at this point, that was the first time I'd done any physique photos.
Front and back.
Some shots. Strength was still in a pretty good spot.
102 kilos there. So that's June. So let's see where I was at in June.
There's Tatenda.
Big Tatenda.
Doesn't ask us any questions. Don't even think he listens anymore.
I see him every now and again still in the gym.
Have you spoke to him? You said Tatenda. Do you still watch?
I've said hello to him. I haven't spoke about the podcast. What's this? Nah, I thought it might say my weight. I think I'm about 200 pounds there.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. Surely there's got to be my competition plans. Oh, this current look is at 197.
God, so there wasn't much. Like that was a month, and like I think it was.
Yeah, I've been through a few little holding phases where I wasn't driving bodyweight up aggressively.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good look there, mate. Decent.
30 pounds gained. Yeah, 166 to 196, 197.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else happened in June?
Went away, mate.
I went to a beach. See, I look a lot softer there. But I think I was...
Ask your mum to take some photos of you. Take some photos of me on the beach, mum.
I think I was only a few pounds. Oh, it's me and you, Shannon. I think I was only a few pounds up. Where were we? Scarborough. That's in Scarborough. It doesn't look like it, does it? Look at that. How is that in Scarborough? It looks like I'm in like Miami or somewhere tropical. It's lovely.
Not Scarborough.
No, it's amazing that. Anyway, I did that in it was July. Sorry, mate. I'm skipping ahead. Where were you?
Yeah.
What were you doing while I was in Scarborough?
Oh, I was in Leeds.
Not too far from Scarborough.
What'd you say?
That's not too far from Scarborough. We should have met up.
Yeah, we should have, mate. Should have both met up, even though we would have seen each other a couple of days afterwards.
Mate. Look at me, 11 likes on a comment. Glad I wore my sports bra and shorts to spot you today.
Because Sonara gave me a... Yeah, here we are. So I went to Leeds. Basically, I was still paying for a uni accommodation for the whole of the last year, not obviously until I finished and graduated, and I'd gone a whole 3 times. So if I worked out how much each trip cost me, it would have been an absolute joke. Fortunately, student finance is a thing, so technically it's not, I have to pay back the money instantly. I just have to pay it back later. So screw your future self, Reece. I mean, you'll just have to shell out 30 quid a week for the rest of your life or whatever until it's paid off. But either way, we were in Leeds for a week or so, and I remember every time I'd take everything to Leeds, I would nail. There wasn't a single thing. My meals exactly the same, steps exactly the same, and I'd come back and I was always a kilo up or half a kilo up, and it was just literally because I was out of my routine. I was training in a different gym. My timings might have been slightly off. Sleep. My accommodation in Leeds, the bed. Me and Sarah would both agree it was absolutely horrible how hot it was in that room. So it was my sleep was awful for those few days. And then we got back, and I think at this point I was around I think I was 14 weeks out the first time I went, and then 12 weeks out. So if we look here, 100.7
this
kilos.
Is mid-July, 10 and 11 weeks to go, 100 kilos.
Can we just say no missing? I didn't miss. 10, 11 weeks to go.
Missed twice.
Yeah, I missed twice, but I technically hit a home run the first time. So I hit a home run, then I started missing. So basically, what we want to say is don't know if you hit the first one, just call it quits there.
Yeah, gonna compete afterwards.
Yeah, don't compete. I should just competed once and just said fuck it. There we go.
You didn't miss with this.
Oh yeah, look here. Didn't miss with. I did. To be fair, I did because I got 2 marks off the next higher grade. So
fantastic listener.
Yeah, fantastic listener, Abigail Pearson, my mum, and yeah. So I graduated July 21st. That was a nice day. I really enjoyed that day. That was very nice. I think I've told the story before, but I turned up. My time was between 4 and 4:30, and we trained before. I turned up at 5:30. Literally, there was 2 other people there. I just got my graduation certificate, took a photo, and left. It was pretty simple. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I couldn't really be asked. So I was just right, sound lovely, catch you later. And then we have Finn. This is back end of July, so £200. Yeah, mate, to be fair, I'm not going to lie. You look softer at £200 here than you did, you looked pretty tight at 197, and this, you look a little bit softer. It all went downhill. You went on a deload, and you just got fat.
Stopped training.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do think like that difference between sort of mid 190s and up and above 200 for me is not when I look like all of a sudden I look soft like that, but generally that's when I start feeling a bit heavier and I start feel like I feel comfortable and normal at like 180.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not going to go back, but yeah, like 180-ish.
Yeah. But your 180 is different to like, because that 180 is based off the muscle mass that you would have had.
Yeah, I'd say now it's probably 200 or 190.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd definitely say so. Like, I'd say if you weren't to like force food in and you weren't to be conscious on anything, like I think your body would probably sit around like 195 to 200. I'd say.
I don't think it would. I think it'd be 190.
You reckon? Well, still heavier than.
I think like if I was to stop like worrying about eating, basically like every 2.5 hours, I'd probably lose in the space of a couple of weeks. I'd probably be 10, 15 pounds down. So I'd be down at 200 pounds anyway. And then it'd still probably drop a bit from there.
Have a look on, I was going to say, go on those, mate. They look good. What's this? Keep doing what you're doing.
I've not got any body weight on that, but that was mid-August. I think I was probably 205 or so, maybe low 200s at this point.
Yeah. Look big there, mate.
Thanks, mate. That was when we were training at Ultraflex twice a week, weren't we? Yeah,
that was the Wednesday and Thursday session, wasn't it?
Which was good. It just got a bit. Well, we did it pretty much. Did we do it all the way through your prep? 2 sessions a week? Yeah. Not right up until the end, wasn't it? Right up until the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was like the last week and a half. It was when I remember just getting annoyed at people and just saying to you like every time I was like, people just not leaving me alone. It was where like the drive, my sessions were like devolume sessions, and it was literally where like you were finishing up like loads later than me, and it just wasn't. It wasn't not productive. It just wasn't.
It was a bit impractical on it, and it was just a bit. Yeah, it was a bit frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. But either way, this was like we started training here for a few upper sessions because like literally they got sent some really, really, really good bits of kit. Like they got some really good upper body bits of kit and went from there. Mate, why are you skipping ahead? We're missing out on some really good photos. Like we're missing out on like when I actually started to look decent.
I was trying to look for you training at Ultraflex, but I think you just did photos and then training footage.
Yeah. So
if you look here, to get quite a bit leaner now.
Yeah, this is when this is 10 from 8 weeks and out, like 8 weeks out and under. This is when like I think my shape started to come through and I actually started to look the way that I knew I would. And it was all there we go. And it was also where like unfortunately as a result of that, I always train.
That was a good one.
Ultraflex and baggy. That's probably my favorite photo because I had a mixture of I was very, very full and I wasn't peeling.
Kilos.
I know. Like it's funny.
But your
like
back
we were both
was still really soft, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was like I was putting up these photos and like it was when I think people started to realise, I looked okay because I was just trained in baggy tees and like oversized hoodies. But this is when I think the physique started to come alive. But not annoyingly because it's not bad. I shouldn't say that. But like this is when at Ultraflex I train and it was where like every single person was mentioning something, which again is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But when you're 6 weeks out, energy levels are low, you almost just want to crack on and just train. And like the only availability I had for energy other than training was me talking to you saying, right, put on another plate or what weight we doing or whatever. It wasn't where I really wanted to really talk to anyone else. I just wanted to be kind of left alone, which was a reason why we started training at Premier throughout like the competition kind of period. But yeah, I remember 100 kg, like that's 98.9 kilos. Like, I mean, very, very good nick there from the front. And the lighting in there did not do me really any service. I was very, very lean from the front. But my back was soft. My back was like, Finn, you'll agree, wasn't it? It was weird how soft it was.
Soft at this point, but it wasn't anywhere near lean enough.
No. Yeah.
It was like that.
I agree. Yeah. It was like... I remember you saying to me at like 100 kilos, like you could compete now, you wouldn't be out of place. No one would look at you and think, "Oh, you're soft," but your back would let you down in comparison to where it could be. And
oh God,
yeah, I was, I was happy. Mark Hector, looking good, bro. Cheers, Mark. Means a lot.
Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, cheers, Mark. Main supporter, Mark Hector. Just a pro level bodybuilder there, giving me some support. It means a lot, Mark. Thank you. Hey up, Shannon, liking the photo. Cheers, Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon Hugh. Should we go on Shannon's Instagram, see what she's been doing all year? It says it's private. It says I
Yeah.
don't follow her.
Oh, no.
What?
You're on your FK physiques?
Shannon's blocked me, she says.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Yeah, 97.6 kilos. I actually think, weirdly enough, my physique on photos started to look slightly worse at this point, just because I was getting flatter and flatter and flatter, pretty much, like, continually. Like, I had to dig to get my back in. So it was where, like, I looked my best, high 90s from a fullness standpoint, but like I said, my back let me down. So if we look here, like, scroll up, mate. Let me see what so nutrition, 150 carb, 41 fat, 220 protein on non-training days, training days, 300 carb, that got a lot lower, 32 fat, 225 protein, 45 minutes of cardio, training days, 60 minutes cardio, non-training days, 16k steps, 13k steps. Yeah, pretty much how it was. And there still was 3 kg that came off from this point for the first show. It was more than that, actually. It was 5 kg. So 5 kg off in 20
you notice,
days.
like, you're not posting any photos of your back because it wasn't where it needed to be yet. It wasn't even where it needed to be here. It was still not quite ready by then.
What, on the day of the show?
It's funny, isn't it? Like, that shot doesn't do you justice compared to, like, that, for example. But it's just the stage lighting and the tan and, like, we spoke about
just look at the. We'll skip a bit ahead if you want, but, like, that shot, I don't think that's a good photo in comparison. You look at the final one. The finals ones I was really happy with because the tan was better and I was a lot fuller. So, like, keep going there. Look at them ones. Go to the second photo here. Like, the second photo is legitimately, I look at that and I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm like, that's a good photo.
Like, your midsection looks softer than back here. Like,
definitely.
Even there, for example. But it's just because of the tan and the lighting. It's annoying. Like, we spoke about it before. The tan takes away a little bit of condition.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you have to be really, really, really conditioned.
An incredible tan, and you've got incredible lighting, and, like you say, you're really, really, really lean.
Yeah, definitely. Go back to yours, mate. We'll have a look through yours for.
Thank you. Shannon's just given me a note.
Dinner nearly ready. Sound. Well, let's have a look through yours, and then we'll scroll back to mine. We'll go through the prep season, and then we'll go through the last few months.
Shout out to Sonny. That was good. Good day.
Go.
Heart of England, UKDFBA show. Where's Slater? Oh, yeah, there he is, look. Shout out to Slater as well. Where are we now? What date? Oh, there we go, look. Shout out to Reece as well.
Shout out to Reece, the Carabao Cup champion.
There we go. I've got that photo up next to me.
That's a good photo. That's a better photo than the one the PCA put up. The one that you took in the crowd.
What?
It's actually a better angle. The photo.
Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah,
the second one. Yeah, that's decent. That.
Yeah, training was going well for me. Everything was moving nicely. Leg training especially was going really well. I've had recently, in the past probably few months, I've had a couple of issues with my legs, but I think I probably had a good solid 8 to 9 months of, like, really good leg training, didn't I, with no real issues. Yeah. It was all upper body that I was having problems with. When we were training in lockdown, like, it was constantly shoulder niggles. My back was pretty much fucked up for quite a while. So, like, I had a good run of leg training. Yeah, what's body weight there? 208. So I'm 7 pounds heavier than that now. I'm quite fat, aren't I?
I don't think you're that fat, mate. You look all right there. Don't worry. You're only fatter now, so, I mean, put it into perspective.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, back's looking wide as fuck, bro. That rear shot. Back's looking so wide, bro.
On that?
Yeah, that's funny because the front shot you look alright. That back shot, I don't think it's not doing
lighting. You can't lean
the
back.
lighting there was awful. Yeah, the lighting was horrendous in there. Well, it still is. It's not like it was, and it's better now, which is unfortunate.
That looks soft there.
Yeah, but that's warehouse, mate.
Like, that's now as well.
December 8th. So yeah. All good. Well, go back to mine. So basically, enter first show. If you want to go back, mate. Go to the last photo in the gym, Evo, straight down now. Yeah, have a look there. So that's a few days before. 1 day out, current body weight, fucking hell, 93.8 kilos, and that was after pushing food up. Thursday and Friday, 1,700 grams of carbs in for 2 days, 1.8 kgs worth of weight gain. So I went down to 92 fucking kg. What an embarrassment of an individual when it comes to what I started at. Ridiculous, 20 kg off. And then we have like a little bit of a POA. I enjoyed like the build up because I was quite like, I wasn't nervous, but it was where like I was really like anxious, thinking this is something different. Like this is completely different to what I was used to. Like it's something completely new. So I was kind of enjoying the process to the best of my ability. But you don't really enjoy it, unfortunately. You kind of just take each day as it comes. Like my day was literally the same. I'd wake up, I'd have a look at myself in the mirror, I'd take my check-in photos, I'd hop on the scale, I'd literally drop Finn a voice note saying, this is what body weight's like, happy with the visual look, what do you reckon to this? Finn would kind of report back to me with what he thought the best plan of action was and like what I kind of said, and then we went from there. That was the first time I lost, so a little bit annoying. Didn't win, got beat. But the Arnold's was a mint experience. I almost wish that like I could have took a photo from the stage, like, you know, where I actually posed, because I remember walking out and I was like, fucking hell, this is sick. Like I remember just like, it was like kind of a realization. I paused and I was like, this is mint. Like it was really, really good because I looked and I couldn't even see anything. Like the lights were so bright. The stage was huge. Like there were so many people. Like I literally was like, you couldn't even enjoy it because it was something completely different. Like the PCA stage was mint with how the setup was, but the arena was tiny in comparison. And then we have the Arnold's here, which again was just completely different. It was a completely different kind of experience. The whole background, like it was very independent. It was very like, you have to know what you're doing. So I was like asking people and just kind of having a bit of a laugh with people backstage. And then we went into finals. Scroll back, mate. Go back like 2 photos, the one at Evo. I think that was my best look outside. So go the other way. So we have, I think one more. One more. There. That was probably one of my favorite photos, to be fair. I don't really know why. I just really like that look. That was 93.3. And yeah, if we look here, like transition between the shows, it was a bit of a challenging one because I didn't need to get leaner. There wouldn't have been any benefit. I needed to be fuller. But I had 3 weeks or 2 weeks from the Arnold show. And that 2 weeks felt like such a long time looking back. And I remember I literally was like trying to balance like training performance, fatigue, cardio, not feeling like I'm dying. And it was where like every day was really, really like strange, but I was just trying to enjoy the process as much as possible. And I remember saying to myself, like, I'm going to be done, so I might as well enjoy it. And the finals was probably my most enjoyable time because I literally went in and just thought, well, I've already lost.
That's probably the best look.
Yeah. I remember like that was a very, very good look after I got my tan.
And we went through a lot fuller, aren't you, for these?
Yeah. Like I mean, and to be fair, like I was really happy with the final showing. Like posing so much better. I could tell like I was the most confident I've been. The look I brought was the best by an absolute mile. Like I was night or day better than the 2 shows previously. The standard of the show was very, very, very good. Like there was like 3 people that I beat who'd won overalls prior. The dude who beat me, an absolute alien. If we see there, like just ridiculous how good he looked. And yeah, I was very, very happy with the finals. And more importantly, I actually just enjoyed it because I'd gone through the process twice. I felt very experienced, even though it was my first prep kind of season. And it was where like I literally was going in and I was like, yeah, let's just enjoy it. I'm going to be done. We went out for some nice food afterwards. And then the following week was lovely. It was a really nice time. So when I look back again, like it's really nice to see. And I guess you, even though you didn't compete, like you've probably got similar thoughts, like because you pretty much were like, we went through it together. Like you were holding my hand, we were seeing how things were. Like I bet you look back at some of these photos and you're like, yeah, this was cool, even though it wasn't.
It's cool to look back. And it's almost, I find it cool looking like right back to the start because that feels like so long ago. And like you can almost watch the process like unfold. And I don't know, I guess for people who have either never competed before or thinking about competing, like it's quite cool to show it. But then something that's interesting is the photo when you started prep, it literally said 8 years in the making. So like people need to remember as well, you're not going to look like that from doing a prep. it's all the time before that, growing as much as you possibly can. But no, it is cool to look back. So what was this?
Yeah.
This was when you binged.
Oh yeah, binged. AKA, I ate like 3 days worth of food off plan, then was ill, and then I was like a kilo.
Oh yeah, this is when you stopped training with me and started training with Sanaya. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate. Back training with you now, mate. Come on. We look here. Yeah, that was all good. 200 kg stiff leg deadlift for 4.
Was it?
Ridiculous. Yeah, 200 kg, and then we have some stage photos there. So pretty much just going through a little bit of a summary how I thought 26 weeks worth of dieting.
I'm not sure about the placings, mate. To be fair.
God, should we say the guy finished third? I don't think was too happy with the placings, which again, I don't know. I'm not too sure, mate. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if you're sure. That's what I should say.
Yeah. I'd be buzzing if I came third. If I was him.
Yeah, I would be. I'd be very happy. I wouldn't say anything. I'd literally say
like, this is I'm not being a dick in any way or being rude.
No.
Like
the standard was really good.
Yeah, the standard was really good, and there was probably about 5 that could have maybe come third.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be complaining. We both said it was obvious that it was you and that Alex guy straight away, and to be fair, it was obvious that the Alex guy had won. Like just from walking out, like you were really good as well, and it was obvious that you were the top 2, but he was ridiculous.
Yeah, oh, completely. I think personally though, like, and again, this isn't me trying to say like he was better. He was a lot better. What are you clapping, mate?
Because you got sponsored.
Yeah, finally. Someone decided to actually give me some supplements. Sup's House. What a company. But no, to be fair, it was weird, the place into the final, because like I can completely understand he was better. He should have won. But I do believe if I was given the win, it would be based off my structure and I was more physique than him. Like I think he will be far better. Like he'd beat me in bodybuilding or classic, whatever. But I think if you were to max out, let's say, his genetics relative to mine, just based off structure alone. Yeah, completely. It's how it is on the day. It's how it is on the day. I can completely understand he was better than me by a long, long way. Like it was, in my opinion, it was him, then me, and then everyone else. Like, but it was. I don't think it was like me and him. I think it was where they probably.
No, it was. That's what I mean. It was him. Like you were relatively close, but you weren't going to push him to win. No. And then it was everyone else quite a long way off, really.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I think his calling is probably going to be in classic or in bodybuilding. And I think he'd do fucking really well. Like if he makes the improvements he made in the last year, wow, he'll be unstoppable. Yeah. Really, really good. And then we have here, this is December 11th. So we're approaching now, like where we are with Finn's training. So
this is where we are now.
In a good spot. And then, mate, your waist is so tight. Waist is ridiculously tight. That's what Finn said after taking these photos.
No, I didn't. You said your waist actually looks quite tight, and I thought, yeah, it actually does for some reason. Like, because usually that lighting doesn't do me any justice.
Yeah,
must have been from taking my shoes and socks off. Makes your waist
and wearing the beanie.
Yeah, wearing the beanie.
Yeah. So what was this? 220 for 3.
Yeah.
And then a bowling score of 176.
Yeah, I'm going to show that. Don't worry.
Yeah, of course. Going to show you every single repetition here.
Yeah. Well, there's only 3. Not that many to go through.
What was your back off set for this session? Was it 200 for... No, was it 160 for 10? Something like that.
No, I think it was 160 for 13, but it just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying to do a 160 for 15 and I'm just gassing out every time. And that top set absolutely ruined me, so I was battered.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Incredible.
Yeah. Highlight of the year, that for you.
Highlight of the year was that bowling game. Yeah.
And then we'll have a look at mine to conclude if you want, mate. We should be all good. So, yeah, we've got a few months after. Post-show transition was all good. We're currently, that was like 104 to 105 kilos. Currently about 4 to 5 kilos up or 4 kilos up from this point. Composition still in a really good spot. Food, I literally haven't really been needing to make any manipulations from it. Training, lifetime strength on pretty much everything, which is really good. I mean, I think if you were to offer me when I finish prep, right, you're going to be, let's say, 12 weeks later down the line, training is in the spot it's in, composition's in the spot it's been, like, you feel the way you do, I would have snapped your hand off and said, yeah, 100%. And as you said on like one of the last podcasts, I'm very proud of how I've dealt with the post-show window, but I'm not proud and like I'm surprised. I knew I would be. I knew that I'd be like, right, I'll have a few days where I can enjoy myself. I can have a bit of different food.
That's what I said, didn't I? Like, I feel like well, first of all, we take pride in what we do anyway. And I almost think, this might sound like I'm being a dick, but who are we to be trying to help people with the podcast and coaching and stuff if we can't even manage our own post show?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't think that's being a dick at all. I think that's just being honest and kind of looking at it and thinking, like, I hate the whole cliche, like, lead by the front, like, you know, lead by example and stuff, but you almost have to be. And like, it's a pressure I place upon myself in training alone. Like, I almost think, like, if I was to see somebody add 60 kg onto their stiff leg deadlift within 10 weeks of a show, I'd be like, fucking hell, they must be doing everything right. And like, I know that people might not even think that, but I place that pressure upon myself and think, right, like, this is the standards I have to set. So like, I have no doubts at all that 260 will soon be a 280 and that hopefully will be a 300. Like, and that's mental for me to say, but with the way it's going, why wouldn't I want to aim high? And that's why I said, like, I like to place pressure and think I need to kind of, in a way, do and just kind of get after it and do what I can. And so yeah, it might sound a bit cocky, it might be a bit kind of self-centered, but fuck it, it's how I want to think.
Got to be, aren't you, when it comes
to exactly
this sport? You can't be, I think it's, you obviously you can be humble and everything, but if you're going, oh, maybe hopefully I can get to a 280, we'll see, maybe I can get a 300, if you're thinking like that, then you're not going to get it.
Yeah. I said to a client the other day,
horrendous post.
I said it on a story, mate. It was me taking the piss. Like, it was definitely me taking the piss, don't worry. I said on the whole, like, even if I miss, I can't miss. Like, that was literally copied out of Omar Little from The Wire when he said, even if I miss, I can't miss. And like, I don't think I've ever said it in a podcast. I've kind of gone into it, but I said it to a client and I was like, I really like that thought process, because you can miss, but if you just have full confidence and you have full belief that, like, you can't miss, you most often will go into things with a far better mindset. And even if you do miss, you'll most likely do pretty decent either way. So like, going into 2022 with that, even if you miss, you can't miss mindset is something that I want to be instilling.
Change the podcast too. Even if you miss, you can't miss. Once you're in, you're in. Even if you miss, you can't miss. Podcast. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but either way, like I said, it's a good thought process to have, and like I said, I think it's quite cool to see.
Good way to end it.
Yeah, there we go. That's the first one, and that's been the year, guys. So that's pretty much been mine and Finn's yearly summary. If I'm honest, I think it's been, like, from a personal standpoint, probably the best year that I've had in all aspects. Like, it's been a very progressive year from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint. I'm very, very proud of how the year's gone, and like, I would not even mention, like, for example, Sanaya. I met her at the start of the year, and like, she's still with me now, so that's a big win. So everything, like Sanaya, business, training, uni, competing, everything's in a really good spot. And I think 2022 is only going to be better because of the work I do and the stuff that I do on a daily basis that makes this year good for me and will make next year even better. So it's been a blast. It's been a pleasure, and it's been a very nice podcast. I really enjoyed this one, mate, and I'm guessing you'll stay the same. I know you didn't compete.
It's been nice to sort of reminisce and look back. I would say as well, like, thank you to everyone, obviously, for listening, supporting the podcast, even to all our clients as well, because obviously we wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for people who put their trust in us and stuff. So yeah, thank you to all of our clients, or my clients. All of Reece can say thank you to his clients. But yeah, like, it is, you know, I do feel very blessed for us to be doing what we're doing. And like we've said loads of times, if we were to have this conversation 5 years ago and say this is what we're going to be doing, we'd both be like, fucking hell, that's really cool. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for a career. Like, so it's mental. So yeah, it has been a very good year, mate. Here's to the next one. It's going to be a bit boring because neither of us are competing. We'll do this next year and we'll just be both fat throughout it all. So
yeah, we'll both be like, oh, sound, and then
we should both have a fair few clients competing though, which will be cool.
Yeah, so that'll be.
So yeah, we'll make this a yearly podcast tradition where we go back through everything.
Yeah, all good. Anything to conclude on, mate? Or
no, mate, I've got my salmon meal ready and waiting.
Lovely. Is this the last meal of the day?
Yeah, mate.
Spot on. Right. Well, thanks guys for listening. Yeah, if you've got to this point, hopefully you enjoyed. As mentioned earlier, I think 2022 is only going to be better, and that's going to be exciting, that's for sure. So again, appreciate. I was going to say all the questions. We didn't answer any questions.
We will do. I've still got quite a few to answer. So next time, I probably still won't do a question box, and we'll go through some.
Yeah, cool. Well, we'll catch you in the next podcast. Again, thanks for all the listens in 2021. And as mentioned, only going to get better in 2022. Other than that, hopefully everyone had a good Christmas and New Year's. Feel free to tag us on your stories. It means ever so much. Likewise, any support is always welcomed. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.